Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Amanullah. You are watching my YouTube channel, Dr. Aman's video. Dear viewer, today we are going to discuss that how would we process a stool specimen or a fecal specimen for bacterial culture and sensitivity on the bench of laboratory. So again, we will start when we receive a stool or a fecal specimen with a request made by any clinician that stool for CS or stool for culture and sensitivity. Then we will start to process that stool for bacterial culture and sensitivity. As I told you, it is always recommended or it is always general consideration in the case of every specimen that it should be properly labeled and it should be immediately provided to the laboratory, or if it is not possible then it should be provided in a transport medium, or if you are not able to process that specimen on the bench of laboratory immediately, then you will have to preserve it at fridge temperature. So these are the general consideration in the case of every specimen for bacterial culture and sensitivity. But in case of stool specimen, when you receive and you are going to start it to process for the bacterial culture and sensitivity, then it is important to know that what are the possible pathogen in the stool. And before going to discuss that possible pathogen, everyone know that stool contain a lot of normal flora. Therefore, stool is also considered a bad specimen in bacteriology, because you will have to look for a small number of pathogen among a large number of microbial flora present in the stool. And the stool culture is usually done, not usually, stool culture is always done to rule out the bacterial cause of gastrointestinal infection. So, what are the possible pathogen in this stool? As we know that there are most common pathogen like Shigella, Salmonella, Yersinia enterocolitica, Campylobacter. I am writing only first 4 letters of the name, and only one species of E. coli, which is E. coli O157H7, and these are the most common pathogen, though there are other pathogens which are responsible for the gastrointestinal infection, but we will focus only on these pathogen, Salmonella, Shigella, and I would like to include one more, which is Vibrio cholera, which is also one of the most common pathogen of gastrointestinal tract. So therefore, the processing of fecal specimen need a lot of media, because different pathogens need different media for its growth. But most commonly, when we receive stool specimen for bacterial culture and sensitivity without any special request, then we process only for Shigella and Salmonella. Again, I repeat, when we receive stool with a routine request of culture and sensitivity, then we process only Shigella for Shigella and Salmonella. But whenever we got a special instruction for any other pathogen, like for Yersinia colitica or for Campylobacter or for Vibrio cholera or E. coli H7F7, then we need to include the media for that possible pathogen. So, I would like to tell you only the list of the media which can be used for these possible pathogen. Most commonly, we include media like XLD, xylose lysine deoxycholate agar for the Shigella and Salmonella. So, it is always recommended to include XLD agar, because it is suitable method agar used for the isolation of Salmonella and Shigella, which are the most common bacterial pathogen of gastrointestinal tract. But one thing you should know, that we do not apply stool directly on the media. What we do, we always emulsify a small sample of the stool into the Peptone water, or you can do in normal saline, and then the resultant, we inoculate the resultant solution of the stool on the bacterial media or growth media. So, it is recommended to include xylose lysine deoxycholate agar for Salmonella and Shigella. If there is a suspicion of Vibrio cholera, or there is the a prevalence of Vibrio cholera is very high in that community where you are working, then you will also need to include the required media for the isolation of Vibrio cholera. So it is recommended to inoculate into the peptone water for 4 to 6 hours, and after that you will have to subculture from after 4 to 6 hours. We subculture stool from peptone water on the TCBS agar. TCBS agar is a thiosulfate citrate bile salt sucrose agar, which is a selective medium used for the isolation of Vibrio cholera. So therefore, if you also want to process stool specimen for the isolation of Vibrio cholera, then you will have to inoculate stool specimen into the peptone water, because the pH of the peptone water is very high, is alkaline, and Vibrio cholera prefer to live or survive on the alkaline pH. So in this peptone water, Vibrio cholera grow and increase its number. After that, you can take or you can do subculture from peptone water on the surface of the TCBS agar. So this is the recommended for Vibrio cholera. It is recommended for Salmonella and Shigella. Again, if you want to process that stool for Campylobacter jejuni, which is also one of the common pathogen of gastrointestinal tract, then you will have to include Camp media or Campylobacter media or Campylobacter agar for the isolation of Campylobacter jejuni. Again, if you want to isolate Salmonella, if you are processing stool specimen on XLD agar and you are not able to isolate Salmonella on the surface of XLD agar, so it could be the result of the very low number of Salmonella into the stool specimen. So in that case, it is recommended to use enrichment broth. What is enrichment broth? I have discussed in the types of media. So you will have to include selenite F broth, so selenite F broth, for which is an enrichment broth used for the isolation of Salmonella species. So first you inoculate stool into the selenite F broth, and next day you subculture on XLD, because it is broth and you are not able to identify colonies or any other or make any other type of identification in broth. Therefore you will have to subculture again on XLD or Salmonella Shigella agar or any other appropriate agar which can be used for the isolation or growth of Salmonella. So this is for Salmonella, this is for Campylobacter, this is for TCBS agar for Vibrio cholera, and this is for Salmonella and Shigella agar. So these are the common agars which are used for the most common pathogen of stool. But you can have a special request for some other pathogens which cause gastrointestinal disturbances by production of toxin, like Clostridium difficile, Staphylococcus aureus, or you can have Bacillus cereus. So you can have a special request for the isolation of toxin or isolation of those organisms. For those organisms, then we include blood agar, because all these media prevent the growth of gram-positive bacteria, and Bacillus cereus, Staphylococcus aureus are gram-positive bacteria, and one is Listeria monocytogen, which is also a foodborne pathogen. So if clinician is suspected and he or she requests for the isolation of those pathogen, then in that case we can include blood agar, because those bacterial pathogen can easily be grow on the surface of the blood agar. So these are the recommended media which can be used for the isolation of possible pathogen from the stool specimen. I shall stop here. I am not going in the more detail of the blood specimen because it will make you confused. It is better to do on the bench of the laboratory. So if you are getting benefit from my video, then again I would request you to subscribe my channel Dr. Aman Video, and also hit the bell icon in order to get notification for my upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Fi Amanillah.